And action. Welcome to another edition of All or Nada According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. I think by what you see me wearing tonight, you know what the topic is going to be. It's going to be my beloved Mets. And we are going to talk about Mr. Hernandez, something funny that he said recently, but we'll get right into it. Uh, I think everybody knows that in addition to him being a metalhead and loving all kinds of classic rock music and loving Seinfeld, just fixing the brim of my hat looks a little silly. Loving Seinfeld and all things comedy. I'm also a Met fan, a big time Met fan, and have been since 1973. That's a long time ago. So I Tuesday I celebrated an anniversary of sorts. Uh, yes, was it Tuesday? No, what day was? Oh, right. Yes, Tuesday, August 9th, 1970. So yeah, so this past Tuesday was August 9th, but August 9th of 1974 was the very, very, very first time I ever went to a Met game at Shea Stadium. Uh, and who did they play? The Cincinnati Reds, the Big Red Machine. So on that occasion, I went with my parents, my brother. We went with my grandfather's organization called the Pashas. It's a Greek Jewish organization, and a lot of fun was had by all. Uh, and it's funny, at that time, the Mets, so 73, we know they went to the World Series, but 74, they weren't as good. Uh, I think Yogi Berra would lose his job within the month after that, or next year, whatever. But around that time, he was not long for the Mets. But in any event, so they weren't good. I believe they finished in fifth place that year, but and they were facing the Big Red Machine, and I fully expected them they were going to lose, but they didn't. They won. They uh, they had a really fine pitching performance by somebody who actually was a spot starter at that time. Was spent most of his time in the Mets bullpen. One Bob Apodaca, who years later would be a pitching coach for the Mets. But the and we didn't have a great team compared to the Reds. I mean, who did the Reds have? They had Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, one of the greatest catchers to play the game, Tony Perez, Dave Concepcion. I think Ken Griffey Sr. was on the team at that time. Uh, Cesar Geronimo, et cetera, et cetera. But it was a great game. Uh, the Mets nursed a 1-0 lead into the seventh inning when light hitting Don Hahn hit a 3-run homer. Nobody expected that. Uh, I think the only Reds run that night was a solo homer by Johnny Bench in the ninth inning. But good times. It was a very fun first game. Uh, I would say with this very same organization, the Pashas, our family would go again in 1977, again against the Cincinnati Reds. This time it would be a twilight doubleheader, and the Mets were down deep in the chasms of baseball hell. It was their first year back in last place. Sign man, I forget his name, Earhart or whatever, held up a sign that said, "Welcome to Grant's Tomb." That's how bad it got. Uh, but in that game, and it was still the Big Red Machine. They were hot off the heels of winning 2 World Series. Uh, Great series in '75 against the Boston Red Sox that went to 7 games. Then game '76, a sweep of the Yankees, who I couldn't stand at that time because there they were in contention and buying up, you know, free agents. They started it all. Meanwhile, we're languishing in third, fourth, sixth place. So it was tough to watch. So watching them sweep the Yankees at that time was fun. So we had to face them again in 77. Uh, so in addition to all the Reds that I mentioned in 73, 74, now they had power hitting George Foster, who went on to hit 52 home runs that year. Here's a guy with a 30-inch waist belting out 50 home runs. Hard to believe. I think I saw Ken Griffey Sr. hit a home run in that game as well. You younger people would know Ken Griffey Jr., who I believe made it to the Hall of Fame. If not, he deserves to be. But yeah, we got swept 4-1 and 4-3, which brings us to this year. So Monday night, my family and I went to the game. We watched a great game. Chris Bassett pitched 8 innings, something that's very rarely done in this day and age. The guy actually went to 110, 115 pitches, I believe. So great effort, Mr. Bassett. Got yourself in a little trouble a few times, but got out of it each time. And we won 5-1. And the Mets would go on and sweep that series and beat the Reds 5 out of 6. So quite different times. I mean, the Reds were a powerhouse back then. On the show with Pete and I believe it was George LeMay a few months ago, we were talking, and I was shocked to hear that the Reds were about 3-22 earlier in the season. They've kind of leveled off, but yeah, no match for the Mets. Sorry, guys. So moving right along. So prior to the Red Series, the Mets faced the Atlanta Braves in a 5-game series, and that was pretty much a make or break series for the Mets. They needed to win some games because what did they have? I think they had a 2.5 or 3.5 game lead on the Braves. The Braves made up a lot of ground on them toward the end of the first half of the season. We did take 2 out of 3 in their building, which was nice, just to show we were still alive. But I think we really made a statement, beating them 4 out of 5. I mean, for their starting pitcher, Spencer Strider is his name, to say, they got lucky with hits falling in. It's August. Let's see where we stand in October. Were you not watching the fucking game, idiot? That whole series, they did everything right. Their base running was great. They grinded out every at bat. I mean, you can thank Taiwan Walker for the fact that they didn't have they didn't suffer a 5-game sweep because he just didn't have it that night. That was the second game of the series. But and Thomas Nido with that suicide squeeze. I was watching the game and I actually called at him, like thinking to myself, now would be a good time for a suicide squeeze. So what does he do? Pulls the bat out, but he does a safety squeeze, but the run scored easily. Caught them right on their heels. So you cannot say they were lucky. If you want to say anything, they're hungry. Granted, all credit is due to the Braves for winning the World Series last year, and glad you guys did it against the Astros, but we won it this year, and we are going to fight our asses off to get it. So we'll see how it goes. We have some big series coming up. We have a 3-game series at home against the Philadelphia Phillies, a team who must really hate us now. We'll get to that in a minute. Then we travel to Atlanta for another 4-game series. Well, let's see who's lucky, Strider. What are you going to do? So right now, I think we sit at 7.5 up. Keep it up, guys. So now to Keith Hernandez and his big mouth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Keith Hernandez. I love that nose and that stash, and he's Keith Hernandez. but gotta watch what you say, man. So this is what he said. So he was caught saying, "Don't want to be at the three-game series versus Philly. Uh, I don't like watching them play. As far as fundamentally or fundies, as he calls it, and defensively, the Phillies have always been just not up to it." So here's where it stands. We earlier in the season, we had the benefit of some early games in the season against the Phillies, and we're 9-3 against them this year. So they're already smarting for us. They're on a winning streak. They've been kicking some ass and beating up on some lesser teams like the Nationals and the Marlins. And I guess in their eyes, we're next. But you can't be giving them bulletin board material, Keith. I mean, they're already gunning for us. No need to wake a sleeping giant, but we gotta go at them hard, and I'll be happy with we take 2 out of 3 against them. So there you have it. So great season so far. Like I said, coming up, oh yeah, it's going to be a tough July, a tough August. So we got 2 series with the Phillies. We got the Braves coming up. Later in the month, we have the Dodgers 3-game series in our ballpark. We have to go to Yankee Stadium for 2 more. I think George and I George Parsiki and I will cover that series. We were going to cover the first series at Citi Field, but we didn't get around to it. So we'll just wait around and we'll cover the second series. Hopefully, you know what? I'd be happy with a split, 3-1 against the Yankees. What can be better than that? And then in September we have a relatively easy schedule, so a lot of games against a weak Central Division. So keep up the good work, guys. Oh yeah. So that was exhilarating. So what else do we have to talk about? Um, and paying a little homage to my good friend Pete Pardo, who's a big Met fan as well. Pete announced about a week or 2 ago that it is official. There will be a Sea of Tranquility Fest, or an SoT Fest, if you were. It's going to be Saturday, October 1st at the Chance in Poughkeepsie. So let's just talk about the lineup. The afternoon session, doors will open at 12. Afternoon session, there's going to be live panels on stage. First, they're going to have In the Prague Seat. I'll be a spectator for that one and just wandering around, saying hello to people, watching. Second panel will be the Hudson Valley Squares, which I was told I would be a part of that, which I'm excited. That'll be very cool. Third panel will be Pete Porter with none other than Martin Popova. So that will be very cool. Fourth panel is going to be a Q&A with special guest Chris Caffery of Sabotage and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So be an afternoon of live panels and a lot of fun. So get your tickets if you haven't already. So that's just the afternoon. Then we're going to, break for prior to dinner or have an early dinner. Doors will reopen for the evening session at 6 o'clock. So the following bands will play. I don't know what order they will go on, but I'm just going to go by the order that I see written down. So you have Nectar, Vanilla Fudge, who I've seen in the past, Pat Travers Band, I've also seen them, Epic Tantrum, Sonus Umbra, whom I believe Louise Nasser is in that band, so that should be very cool. And then there will be a Q&A with Andy Powell of Wishbone Ash. So again, I don't know what the order will be, so it's going to be very cool. Other things that I can tell you, if you're looking to stay over, the hotels in Poughkeepsie, New York are pretty much booked solid, because I heard that it's like a homecoming event, and some of the local colleges I know Vassar is in Poughkeepsie. Other than that, I don't know what colleges are there, but so hotels are pretty much sold out. I got a I got a hotel in a nearby town near Poughkeepsie, so that's where I'll be. Uh, so look to the surrounding towns if you want a hotel room that weekend. Uh, a lot of people that participate or have participated in on the Sea of Tranquility will be there included. I will be there. I bought my ticket. I have a balcony seat, getting my T-shirt, but I will be wandering around both upstairs and downstairs. So look out for me. Come say hello. I'll probably be wearing a priest shirt or a Sea of Tranquility shirt, one of the two. So I will not be wearing this Met hat. This stays home that weekend. But anyway, yeah, come say hello. I'd like to meet as many of you as possible. That would be really cool. Again, I appreciate everybody that has watched All or Not According to Jack and has seen me on Sea of Tranquility. It's really been my honor to do this for everybody. So I'd like to meet and greet with as many people as possible. So come say hello. Mark your calendars, October 1st on a Saturday. Okay, so on my last note, so if you look behind me over my left shoulder, this shoulder, just to the side of my baseball cap, you see that building? That's the Jones Beach Amphitheater, looking across the bay from Wantaw Park, a place where I usually like to go, sometimes at lunchtime to have a nice walk. Usually it looks better than this. I don't usually go when there's great clouds above, but wanted the background, so that's that. Back to Jones Beach. I've seen many a great concert there. So awesomeness. Lastly, since we're on the subject of Long Island picture behind me, I'd like to say a sincere congratulations to the town of Massapequa, Long Island, where Jerry Seinfeld is originally from. That's about a 15-minute drive from where I live, and they are in our Little League division. And I just found out tonight, I was watching the Little League World Series on ESPN, and because I like to watch that, I love watching the kids play. Sometimes I enjoy watching them play better than the pros. It's so much fun. But anyway, I found out that, hello, Massapequa made it all the way to the freaking regional finals. So you have the divisional tournament. That's hard enough as it is. That takes, I think, a couple of weeks. If you can get past that and be the champion, then you make it to the sectionals for New York State. That's very hard because that's usually single elimination, no double elimination for that. You basically you have to go undefeated in that sectional round. If you win that, you get all the way to win the sectional, and you become the New York State champion. Then you get to the regional tournament with other states. I believe we're in with, I think, so New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland, I believe. So in the regional final, it's New York with our neighbors right across the freaking Hudson River, New Jersey. So that's going to be awesomeness. I hope they broadcast that. That's supposed to be on Friday night at 7 p.m. So awesomeness. Go Massapequa. Get to freaking, and if they win this, I think they do get to the Williamsport tournament. So be really cool to see a Long Island team get there. They never seem to do it. But actually, no, I wouldn't say that. Merrick, Long Island, got there, and they're just maybe 10 minutes to the south of where I am. So congratulations to them a few years back as well. But so that's that. wrapping up. This is Jack Toledano speaking for all or Nada, according to Jack. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please hit that notification bell for so to be notified when my videos pop up. And I will speak to you soon. Adios.